Hello, everyone. Another Facebook Live. Welcome for another Facebook Live from Gabra Travel. Today on Wednesday, because we had a break yesterday, holiday, big event in Melbourne where 10,000 people. Yeah. So Freedom is here, and we are here to talk about more and more freedom these days. If you are on Facebook, if you are on Zoom watching us at this moment, drop your question, write your question in the comments below or in the chat on Zoom. We are here to answer your questions today. I'm here one more time with Ashini Santalia, who is going to explain what's this thing about no quarantine, no travel exemptions. As we were talking a couple of weeks ago, Ash, welcome. How are you today?
Very good, Chris. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and really excited and really happy to share with everybody that uh, it's all become a reality now. No more are we depending on news. No more are we depending on hypothesis. Everything is now crystal clear. And from 1st of November, the travel landscape has changed completely from Australia. So, as we all know, from 1st of November, fully vaccinated people are allowed to travel in and out of Australia with full freedom. Now, going out of Australia, that is allowed from every single state for everybody who is fully vaccinated to any part of the world without any exemptions. And already yesterday, we had flights leaving from Melbourne and Sydney to India, and there was no questions asked and no exemptions required for anybody. And everybody left safely and completely reached safely India. So there has been no issues with anybody, and they did not require any exemptions at all. You still require a RT-PCR test 72 hours within departure, and you have to be fully vaccinated. These two things are definitely required for traveling, along with passport and your visa or OCI for India. But apart from that, that onerous process of applying for exemptions and anxiously waiting for it is no more there. That's for outbound. And for inbound, very happy to share that on the 1st of November, Cora Travel organized first charter flight from India into Melbourne and Sydney. And yesterday, 2nd of November, all the travelers has reached safely in Melbourne and Sydney without any problems and without any quarantine requirements. So that was the first quarantine-free flight from India to Australia organized by us, and it was our 92nd charter flight that was organized by us. And again, it was a momentous occasion because all of these people are being reunited with their families just before Diwali. And this was the first flight where they could just walk out of the plane and meet their family members straight away. So both these things now is a reality. Going out of Australia to India and also coming from India into Australia for only Melbourne and Sydney. These both things are a reality, and we are here to make your dreams come true. We are organizing so many flights on our website. There are so many dates for going out, so many dates for coming in. So all of these are not a distant dream, not a distant possibility. It's all a reality now.
Yeah, we were talking during these sessions in the last couple of months, mostly, about Australia will be open when we reach 80% of the population fully vaccinated. Mm-hmm. That haven't happened already because that's supposed to be tomorrow in a couple of days. But the country started already to be open to the world. So that's great news. Are the availability of flights to increase soon, or is the stock that we have isn't going to be constant, and the thing that is going to increase is the demand, or how is going to?
Very good question, Chris. And first of all, your first part regarding 80%. So because Australia is in a shape where every state is in a different situation, so overall, the average of the whole Australia hasn't reached 80%. However, Sydney or New South Wales has crossed 90%, and Victoria has crossed 80% also. So these two major states have crossed double doses of above 80%, and as such, these two states are allowing people to come inbound from overseas, from any part of the world, if they're fully vaccinated. And as we know that basically other states are lagging behind, and they are not going to start this very soon. That's going to take some time. And especially Western Australia, they are saying they are not going to start this until next year. But I think Queensland and South Australia may reach that point by Christmas. But as far as our customers and the Indian community is concerned, majority of our community and brothers and sisters are living in Melbourne and Sydney. So I think 80% or more of our Indian population in Australia are covered by these two states, allowing inbound and outbound travel. So which means that any one of us right now want to go from Australia to India, from Melbourne and Sydney to India, can go and then come back in the future without having to do any kind of quarantine. And we can have that certainty that when we go, we can come back and there won't be any quarantine. Now, as far as your second question is concerned regarding the availability of flights. So basically, the airline industry works in two phases throughout the year. They divide the year into two parts. One is called the northern winter, which is the northern hemisphere winter, and the northern summer. So from 1st of November, there was a northern winter schedule which started, which is going to last until end of March. Now, most of the airlines have fixed their schedule for this whole 5 months much in advance. You know, they would have fixed this probably in the end of August, September. So most of their flights are already fixed as to how many flights are going to operate into Australia and out of Australia. And most of the airlines that I'm talking with, which I deal with almost on a daily basis, are saying that their flights are not going to increase into Australia and going to stay whatever frequency they were doing in the last few months. So from now until March, the availability of flights are going to be quite restricted. As such, the availability of tickets is going to be quite restrictive. So my recommendation is anybody who would like to travel and would like to book, they should do it as soon as possible, because with every single day, the availability of tickets is only going to reduce.
So it's going to be reduced and not increase in maybe a couple of months, or how long do you think?
I think it's going to go like this for next few months, as I said, until November is already here. November, December, there's no chance of increasing any flights. Maybe from January, some increase may happen, but November and December, for sure, there won't be much increase at all.
Okay, perfect. Another point that I want to, before going to the questions of the people on the live sessions on Facebook, and soon, if you are here, remember you can write your questions and we will answer them during this hour. Also, something that changed last week was the inclusion of new vaccines from Australia, recognizing more vaccines that are being done in India. So can you also give us a little bit more light about it?
Absolutely. So that's a very big news, and it just came out on Monday. So basically, India has been administering two major vaccines. One is called the Covishield, which is the same as AstraZeneca, and the other one is Covaxin. So Australia had recognized Covishield. Australian body called TGA had recognized Covishield for the purpose of traveling, but they had not recognized Covaxin. Now, on this Monday, 2 days ago, they have given approval for Covaxin as well. So, anybody in India who has got Covishield or Covaxin are both now eligible to travel to Australia. And this is great news for everybody who are looking forward to travel to Australia, because anyone who has any of these two vaccines now can come to Australia and will not need to quarantine at all if they are fully vaccinated with one of these two vaccines.
Okay, so let's start with the questions. Sonia, that is with us every week. Sonia joins us on Zoom every week and is always very attentive to these live sessions. Welcome one more time, Sonia. Good afternoon. I want to know the 30 kilos included on Emirates flight Sydney to New Delhi also include 7 kilos handbag.
No, that 7 kgs is always extra. So you get 30 kgs to check in and 7 kgs is handbag, which is extra. So total you can carry 37 kgs. 30 kgs which will be checked in and 7 kgs which you will take it in the hand.
Okay. So that's separate. So don't worry about it, Sonia. Which time counted by airline Emirates for RCTP COVID test time or result time? How many days before to do it?
So it's basically 72 hours before departure time.
No.
So whatever time the flight is supposed to depart, you have to take the test within 72 hours of departure.
Okay. Sonia is also telling us that she really enjoy Gaura travel service and she's recommended to friends. Thank you for that, Sonia. We try to do our best.
Thank you very much.
If Maria has a question for us, Ash, and she said, if we travel to India, do we need to quarantine in India?
No. So India has done away with quarantine long time ago, last year itself. And the only requirement India has is that we have to get a negative RT-PCR test before traveling, and then upload that to Air Suvidha website, and that's all you need for India. And then once you reach there, you are allowed to go out and go home straight away. There is no requirement of quarantine at all in India.
Okay. Are visitor visa allowed as one to visit my uncle? They live in Sydney.
Okay, so yes, at the moment, the only people who are allowed to travel into Australia are Australian citizens, Australian residents, and their family members who are categorized as husband, wife, children, or parents. So they are the only people who are allowed to travel to Australia right now. But watch this space. We believe that within a 1 month time or maximum 2 months time, Australia will start allowing visitors and other students to start coming into Australia. I think in November month, they are just going to focus on the Australian residents and citizens and their immediate family members. But I think from December or January, they will allow others.
Perfect. Ash, just to clarify that and correct me if I am wrong, the thing that's happening or the situation that is at the moment is Australian government is allowing first to permanent residents and citizens to get tickets in the airlines. That's why other visas are not coming massively. And then when they feel like that many Australians stranded overseas start to come in big numbers to Australia, they will allow other people.
That is correct. That is correct. So I think in this month of November, they will see a lot of Australian residents and citizens coming back. And once that happens, then they're going to open up to other visa holders in the coming months.
Okay, I hope that answered your question. Rajiv Daniel on Facebook. Sima Sajid on Facebook is asking, Do you have any flights to Melbourne from Hyderabad, preferably with Sri Lankan Airlines?
Absolutely, we do. And that's we have on Fridays, every Friday, 5th of November, this Friday. Then we have next Friday, 12th of November. And then we also have on Friday after that, which is 19th of November.
Exactly. So now, Nirmal on Zoom is asking, can you provide one-stop flights from Sydney to Chennai, departing on 28th of December and arrival back 28th of January 2022? That's very specific.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, at the moment, unfortunately, we don't have so much connectivity into every part of India, but there are definitely flights going into from Sydney and Melbourne to Delhi. There are some dates where there will be flights available to go to Chennai or other cities as well. But most of the dates we have flights into Delhi, and then we can provide you with domestic connections.
Perfect.
But unfortunately, this is how it will be for some time, at least for this year.
Okay. Sachin on Facebook is asking, can TR holders, I imagine these temporary residents, go to India and come back to Australia, or is just for citizens and PR holders?
Yes, so at the moment it's just citizens and PR holders. If by chance a temporary resident goes out of Australia right now, they are welcome to go out, but they will not be allowed back in until the government changes their rule. Yeah, so unfortunately, those who are temporary residents, if they want to come back, then they are recommended not to travel now because they won't be able to come back until the rules change.
Okay. Just Heal on Facebook, and this is a recurrent question every time that we have this kind of lives, and I think partially you already answered this question, Ash. Can international students travel to Sydney?
Unfortunately, no, not yet. But hold on, I think there is some light at the end of the tunnel. I believe that either in December or January, international students will be allowed to travel to Australia, but not right now at the moment. At the moment, it's only Australian residents and citizens and their immediate family members.
Okay. Nagi on Zoom, what are the major airlines that are running flights to India?
So at the moment, there is Sri Lankan Airlines, there is Emirates, there is Qatar Airways, there is Etihad. These are the major four airlines which are running flights to India, and also Air India has started some flights from Sydney to Delhi from 15th of November. So these are the major airlines that are operating to India at the moment. I see maybe from December or January, there may be other airlines added to the list, but at the moment, these are the major airlines.
Perfect. So in Emirates, when I book tickets, it's writing 48 hours about the RTCPR test.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of airlines which want it within 48 hours. So I think most days now, if you go for a test, you can get it, the report within the same day. So it's always better to do it as late as possible within 48 hours is also fine.
We are planning, Samiha on Zoom, we are planning to travel to India in January. Are there any flights scheduled 3rd or 4th of January, departure in 22, and coming back 22nd or 23rd?
I don't know exactly whether it's 3rd or 4th, but there are some flights available on our website in the first week of January. If you browse through it, there are some options available. If you can browse through it, then you can try and book it. I can't remember exact date. And this is again a message that I would like to give to all our viewers that in the current times, you really have to be flexible with your dates because not every day you will get flights. Those days are gone, which was there pre-COVID, where there were so many variety of options to so many cities and so many dates. Because at that time, airlines were operating like in full schedules, you know. Right now, they're still not like, just because Australia has announced 2 weeks ago some changes, it doesn't mean that all the airlines are going to change their routing from all other countries and just bring all their flights into Australia. So they have been, you know, flying all different parts of the world, and they have already planned their routes with their aircrafts in different parts of the world. So they can't just cancel all that and then bring all the flights into Australia. So at the moment, for next few months, the flight frequency in and out of Australia is going to be quite limited, and that's why I recommend everybody to be a bit flexible with your dates and not be too rigid that you want to travel on a particular date only, because that's how it will be. There has to be flexibility, because there won't be so many dates and so many flights available like it used to be pre-COVID days. That will take some time. I think it will happen maybe towards the middle of next year, toward the end of next year, but in the first half of the year next year, and definitely in the month of November and December of 21, it's going to be very limited options that's going to be available.
Perfect. There is some news about the International Travelers Cup to Indian states, but extended to the end of November. Is that true? There is any cups, limited cups in India?
No, so there is no such caps into India. However, I think the news that you are referring to is India currently has a blanket ban on all international flights into India, excepting with those countries with whom India has a bubble arrangement. So India has a bubble arrangement with 28 countries right now, including Sri Lanka, including UAE, including America, including UK, so many other countries, they have a bubble arrangement. So all the flights from those countries can go in and out of India without any restriction. But in this world, there are 200 countries. So previously, all those countries had flights going into India, but now there's a blanket ban on all those flights from all the countries, excepting the countries which has a bubble, which is only 28 countries. So that's why what you see is this news about international flight ban up to 30th November. That's only in relation to the complete ban, but that doesn't mean there are no flights going in and out of India. And we are only offering those flights in our website which are real flights. You may see some flights in many other websites, Skyscanner or other places, which are what I call as ghost flights. It may show up over there, but it may not operate, you know. On the other hand, all the flights that we put on our website are real flights, and we know that those flights are going to operate. And hence, we only make those flights available which we know for sure are going to operate.
Okay. So, Ash, Nikat Rojas seems like he has trouble with his tickets with Gaur Travel. When can he send his request or his case to get a solution?
When is his travel?
He just say he has messed up with the travel tickets and the contact center is not being helpful.
I think if he can give you an order number, then we can get someone to call him back
Okay.
and then check with him one-on-one.
Okay. So Nick, send your order number to us. If you want, you can send it through the messenger on our Facebook page, and we will take care of your case. Thank you for letting us know. We are here to help you. Maria again is, if a person coming from India to Australia, if they have to stay in Dubai for more than 10 hours, do they need to do COVID test in Dubai?
No. As long as they stay within the airport, they will not need to do any COVID test. But if they want to go out into Dubai, then they will have to do the COVID test.
Oh, okay. So what is the layover from your flight on Sri Lankan Airlines on 12th of November? Can't find in the website. Can we add extra luggage to that flight ticket?
So the layover, all the itinerary should be there. It's a very good connections, hardly 1 or 2 hours stay in Colombo. And unfortunately, extra luggage is not allowed on that. So basically 30 kg standard is allowed and 7 kg hand luggage. That's all is allowed. You can take extra luggage more and pay more at the check-in counter, but that's usually very expensive. They don't allow any pre-purchase of extra luggage on these flights.
Okay. There is another good question here, and because it's basically talking about, I guess, Sri Lankan Airlines too. Savita Krishnapa saying, is there any specific instructions while transiting via Colombo?
No, there is no specific instruction. Anybody can transit Colombo as long as it's within 12 hours. They don't allow transit more than 12 hours. So as long as the transit is within 12 hours, anybody can travel from here to any part of the world from Colombo, including India.
Okay. So Samika say she saw only flights until December, but we have flights January and some even February.
And more will come. Just keep checking our website. We constantly keep loading more and more flights as it becomes available. We are in constant discussion and with all the airlines as to what's possible, and we can assure you we are in the forefront of making more and more flights available to our customers. So whatever is possible, we will keep making it available.
Exactly. Sarah Khan on Facebook, can OCI holder enter to India?
Oh yeah, absolutely. OCI can now, even tourist visas are allowed to enter India. So India is completely open for any kind of visa holder now. OCI definitely being one of them, but any other visa holders can also enter India without any problem.
And also, Ash, I think something to share today, something that you were telling me offline earlier today. Visa has reported the lowest number of cases in 2021 yesterday.
Absolutely. So yeah, India is doing really well, and the COVID cases in India are constantly reducing. And yesterday and day before yesterday, the cases in India has been very low, 9,000 or 10,000 in a country of more than 1 billion people. On the other hand, even in Australia, we're getting around 1,500 to 2,000 cases almost on a daily basis, with only a 25 million population. So India is doing really well, and I think it's this year in 2021, it's gone through a lot of ups and downs, and I think now it's really turned around well, and it's a very, very joyous occasion, especially in the occasion of Diwali coming up, that India is doing fantastically well in terms of COVID management.
Perfect. This is like great news. Ashish on Facebook, great question, Ashish. From where can we do RT-PCR test in Australia to fly to India? Private labs charges heavy for tests. If GP can do the test, will be that sufficient?
Yeah, look, anywhere you feel that is comfortable for you. Some people go to private labs. Some people go to government agencies, which are like hospitals, showing their Medicare, or some people go to GPs. So wherever you feel comfortable, and depending on your location where you are and whatever you feel confident about, how soon you will get the report, then you can do it. There is no hard and fast rule. But some of the places where you do a test, they only send you a message that you are negative or positive, but the message is not good enough. You will need to call them up and ask them for a proper report. So you need to carry the proper report with you, not just an SMS. That won't work.
Oh, this is a great tip.
Yeah.
Sima Sajid, Sima, you can clarify, you are talking about going from Australia to India or India to Australia will be great, but I will pass actually the question to Ash. Any Sri Lankan flights after 25th of November?
Yeah, so I think your clarification is very important to answer this
Yeah.
question. But we do have flights from here to India after that. But at the moment, we don't have flights from India to Australia after that. But we have plenty of options between now and then, which is Friday the 5th being one. Then the next one is next Friday the 12th, and the next one is the next Friday the 19th. And those flights are going into Melbourne and Sydney both. So there are 3 flights available between now and the 20th of November, and there are lots of seats available.
Okay, perfect. We continue with the questions. Radhika Basi, for parents of Australian citizens, they need exemption or not from India to Melbourne?
Very good question. So yes, they are eligible to travel, but you need to apply for exemptions. And if you provide the documentation that you are or the citizen or PR holder, and based on that, your parents are seeking exemption. You have to show the documents proving your relationship with your parents. Then they will get exemption, and based on that exemption, then they can travel. Because otherwise, there is no way that anybody can establish who are the parents. So you can't just assume things and then say these are the parents. So they have to apply for exemptions, but they will be granted the exemptions as long as you provide the proper documentation.
Perfect. Cougar Manostra on Facebook. I just wanted to check if Gara Travel is only running charter flights and what's the probability of these flights being canceled?
So first of all, we are running both the commercial flights and charter flights, combination of both depending on what is available. Some routes, if we have commercial flights, we are doing it. Some routes, when there are no commercial flights, we are doing charter flights. Now, we have done so far 92 charter flights, and we cannot say that none of the flights have been rescheduled. I wouldn't say cancelled. It generally gets rescheduled where it may not go on a particular date, then we get adjusted to the next date. Most of our flights have gone as per schedule. When I say most, I would say more than 90%, and hardly 10% have been required to be rescheduled due to various reasons. The government rules changing and operational requirements of the airlines and so many other factors. It's been quite a challenging time. But having said that, we don't leave our customers just hanging. We always provide an alternative option. And if that's not suitable to any of you, then we also provide a refund.
Okay. So I should say, thanks for answering my question. My flight is on 25th of November in Sri Lankan Airlines. How early will I get my tickets? Why the tickets are issued between 12 to 24 hours before the flight?
So yeah, we do send you a confirmation about your booking immediately as soon as you book. However, the e-tickets are not generated immediately because basically many of these flights, as I mentioned, are charter flights. So we have to issue the ticket all together for all the passengers. Also, many of the tickets are booked in a group basis, which also requires to be booked together and issued together. What we used to see before COVID was basically just one person booking ticket and tickets getting issued immediately. That's not the situation right now. Most of our flights, we are either doing charter flights or on a group. So that needs to be ticketed together. The whole thing has to be ticketed together. So until we get all the names of people who are traveling on those flights, we are unable to issue the ticket. However, whatever confirmation we send you an email about your flight is as good as your ticket that confirms that you are definitely purchased that ticket on that flight.
Okay, perfect. How many days after completion of second dose vaccine COVID shield can we travel to Australia? Please suggest. Sharif on Zoom.
Yep. So this is as per the Australian rules. The TGA says that minimum 7 days has to pass before you are allowed to travel after your second dose. So you have to be finished your second vaccination and allow 7 days to pass before which you will be allowed to travel.
Okay. So let me check. I think at the moment that's all the questions that we have
Wonderful.
up to the moment. You have brought amazing answers to our customers. Just one more has just arrived here. It's somehow start to can more and more. If someone need to reschedule or cancel a ticket, how long before we need to let you know?
As soon as possible and no later than 96 hours before departure, because basically it's very difficult to organize and find your another traveler within 96 hours. So you have to really be prepared to forfeit your ticket if your advice is very late.
Yeah. I am a Nayansi. I am a partner visa 309. I'm going India in November and wants to come back Australia in January second week. Am I required any kind of extension and travel permit? I'm fully vaccinated.
So this is a little bit technical question. I will not be able to confidently answer it, but I believe if you are treated as an Australian permanent resident, which I think you are, as far as I understand, in terms of partner visas, then you will not require any exemptions because you are going to be treated as Australian resident because you are on a partner visa of a resident of Australia. So, well, she's saying I'm a temporary resident. So if you are a temporary resident, then you can't. You will need exemption for sure.
Okay. Yep. So if we take second dose of COVID Shield after 28 days, is it acceptable?
Yeah, that's not a problem. So the government of Australia and the TGA don't have any stipulation about when you take the first or second dose. The main stipulation is the second dose should be taken and you're not traveling at least 7 days after that second dose.
Exactly. So Nancy just clarified that she's a temporary resident.
So then she will need exemptions.
Exactly. Ashish that was explaining that they want to travel on 25th of November in Sri Lankan Airlines and they want to come back. The son will be 12 years in January when they come back. Will he be able to come quarantine free? That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. If Australia doesn't change their rule and he is more than 12 years old, then he will not be able to come quarantine free until he's vaccinated. So he can get vaccinated either, well, yeah, it's a tricky one because right now Australia is not giving vaccination to below 12 years old. And when you travel, then I don't know whether India will give that vaccination or not. So yeah, unless the rules change, which means Australia will allow people over the 12 years of age or to be able to return back without vaccination, which I don't think is going to happen because now Australia has become very, very strict in only allowing back vaccinated travelers. So the simple answer to your question is no. If your son turns 12 and he is not vaccinated, he won't be able to come back without quarantine.
Okay. So 25th flight of, I imagine it's 25th of November. flight of Etihad India to Melbourne. If we book, is there any chance of cancellation? As I want to be sure before booking.
No, Etihad is a commercial airline, and most of the flights they have operated without getting cancellations. So the chances are very. I mean, I cannot guarantee anything can happen anytime,
Yeah.
but the chances of cancellation is very, very low.
Sharif Ansun, is there any flight in between 25th to 30th of November, India to Melbourne via Sri Lankan Airlines? As I want to avoid Etihad, it's a long journey.
I think it's not there at the moment, but we may be adding some more flights soon. So watch our website, and you may have something available very soon.
Okay, so now I truly believe this the end of the question, Ash.
Okay.
Just to remember everyone, Ash, we have our spin wheel on the website. So anyone that wants to play with the spin wheel, we are giving up to $500 discount in some tickets. So you can go www.gauratravel.com.au and you will find on the top of the website the banner. You will fill your details and test your luck spinning the wheel, and you will be able to win up to $500 off on tickets because we are ready for takeoff. Ash.
Absolutely. We are ready for takeoff. There is no more holding back. We are on the runway and ready for takeoff. So those who want to travel, fasten your seat belts and be ready for takeoff.
Okay. Is Sri Lanka flight charter or scheduled?
Depends. Some of their flights on our website are chartered. Some of them are scheduled.
Yeah. So Ash, one more time, thank you for joining us to these Facebook Live sessions of Gaura Travel. I have received many messages from Maria and other Sharif and other of our customers, Nancy, saying thank you for your inputs today, for your answers and giving us clarity in this situation. Thank you very much, Ash, and all of you. See you next week in another live session. We will try to bring the latest news in the travel industry between Australia and India. Any late comments, Ash?
Yes, from the whole team at Gaura Travel, we would like to wish you all a very happy Diwali and wish you all a very joyous Diwali with all your friends and families, those who are here or those who are traveling to India. Wish you all a very happy Diwali.
Yeah. So happy Diwali and see you all next week.
All right. Thank you.